Hello, wrestling fans. I'm Jason here with the true horror king, Gary. He's busy right now, as you can tell. This is Discuss Impact, available and killing it most everywhere in all podcast places. I mentioned before, I'm not sure why so many people listen to us on YouTube still, but we really appreciate it. Even though, like John Cena, you can't even see us. Okay, enough of that bullshit. Let's get on to the real show, what we're talking about here. Discuss Impact Wrestling's awesome Hard to Kill 2023 review. We got some huge news about Kaz returning, what it could mean, and much more. I think we got a little template that we're going to stick with now for these reviews where, we each have a little time for each match and topic so we're not talking over each other. And if anyone is interested in the Scott Giselle stuff from last week, I don't know what to say other than I can't talk about it right now. And I'm sure you noticed that one match was removed from the show, and that's all. Gary, what do you think about Kaz?
That was a very pleasant surprise for me, just because, I thought I was under the impression that he was under contract full time with AEW. It kind of changed my thinking about the pay-per-view, just because it kind of gave me this more positive vibe of the future. Just because he's kind of seems like he's rededicated himself, and I'd like to see how he can land, how he'll fare with his career in Impact, because like I say, he seems re-inspired.
Well, he did. He was signed with. Okay, ready? So this is Kaz's words about leaving AEW from PWI. So I believe the match against Josh Alexander was November 18th. I still have 2 years left on my contract. 2 years to get over. Now, this is me saying blah, 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 and back to Josh, who says simply kind of, no thanks, but no thanks. Not Josh, sorry, Kaz, who said, to AEW, thanks, but no thanks. I had kind of voiced, concerns and frustrations and goals and aspirations and had a good talk with management, blah, 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 going back. Obviously, I have a history with Impact. A lot of my legacy is there. Some of Kazarian's greatest moments happened there. Blah, blah, blah. I think this was the best fit for him. This was the best fit for Impact, and Impact was the best fit for me. Then he mentioned the locker room. I'm amazed at the amount of talent. I have the utmost confidence in the management. Not sure about that at the moment, but I have utmost confidence in the creative team, and I want this company to grow, blah, blah, blah. It just sounds awesome. And I'm even more motivated than I've ever been at any point in career, which you just mentioned.
Well, I just couldn't believe it was announced, because I didn't think AEW would give up on him so easy, just because he's the seasoned veteran and he does have that X Division presence and everything. I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
It's not like they gave up on him. They wanted to roll his contract over for 2 more years, and he said no.
Really?
He was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." He was like, "Thank you, but I'll take a shot with Impact," which is sorry.
With being like Tony though, with him being
so
much about honoring contracts and stuff. I don't know. I felt like they give Jonathan Grisham a lot of shit when things went south with him, and it's like they kind of kind of made him get lost in the shuffle, and then we didn't see him even on I believe on AEW TV for a long time.
Yes, totally. Sorry, I just want to throw in Eric Bischoff commented, who I thought was going to be the authority figure, turned out being Santino. We'll get to that. Frankie did it, man. He walked away from a comfortable environment, probably paid him very well, and he says, you know what? I want to end my career on a high note, the way I want to end my career, and I don't want to be sitting on the sidelines. You have to respect anybody for making a move like that. And so that's all awesome. And let's get some overall grades before we get to the show. Gary, you want to throw yours? Actually, screw it. I got a 9.4. Top that. I loved it.
On this pay-per-view, I wouldn't go quite that high, only because there were some things that I could, maybe pick here and there, but I would definitely put it at least an 8.9. It was definitely, it was, for me, it wasn't quite to the level of a 9-something, but I would definitely put it up there very close.
Yeah, after re-looking at everything, there wasn't a ton of great matches, but like we were saying before the show, it was just a really fun show that kind of not kind of flew by. For me, it totally flew by.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think it helped that we liked the way a lot of the show was booked, the results and.
Oh, yeah. Like we'll get to the tag match. like we were saying, we really wanted Motor City Machine Guns or Bullet Club to win, and not only did Motor City Machine Guns win, but like they focused on those two teams. Like it was so obvious. And we're gonna lead off with what match is it? Let me check my. Oh, sorry. Before we get to that, okay, really quick. Hey guys, love the show. Listen every week on iTunes. This is Matt from New Jersey. Finally got somebody close in the area. What do you think about Impact Asylum posting spoilers? Aren't they supposed to be huge fans? Wow. Well, that kind of hits close to home as not a fan of that place, but yeah, I don't think they should be doing that, especially when they gave me shit for doing it years ago when I was getting money out of it, and I don't think they are. Gary, should Impact fan sites be posting spoilers?
No, I don't think they should be, just because, like, especially not so soon like they do, because, like, you know, a lot of people out there, you don't know if they've had a chance to see it. And like, I mean, I think that kind of in the end kind of hurts pay-per-view buys too, as well. If you're a religious person, like when you religiously watch stuff.
Or like, television. I think this was just the post.
I mean, if they look at those results, and if they see things they don't like at it, or even the buffoonery, if you will, it might.
I mean, I've tried to stay away from them, but like sometimes I'll see things and I'll be like, but then I'll watch it and they're like, oh man, it's so much better. Like wrestling is not meant to be read, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like spoilers come from places. And that's where they came from. Like, there wouldn't be spoilers this week if they didn't put them out, like, anywhere. Like, that's where everyone links to. So
I have a bigger problem with it being a paper.
That's a dick move. Oh, yeah, no, me too.
You know what I mean? Like, the tapings I kind of get, because I think sometimes people want to see if there's things in this show they would like to watch. I
get that. But, I mean, I'm cool if, like, PWI is doing it and not an Impact site. And then Impact site is copying it. That's cool, but don't lead it with an Impact site. But that's enough of that. Let's get to the Knockouts match, which I believe, people might bash me for this, was one of the best Knockouts matches ever.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I thought Gary was going to laugh at me. Okay.
No, it definitely in terms of it delivering and my expectations, it went beyond that. I just thought everything about it was perfect. I mean, you had a veteran that was going to be possibly losing her career, and an unstoppable juggernaut and Jordynne Grace that, she took a lot of Mickey's roundhouse kicks that looked very convincing, almost like out of a Hollywood movie.
Oh, incredibly stiff. And I don't know if it was incredibly stiff or incredibly sold or both, but goddamn, yeah. They just killed everything in this match. Like,
well, and I can't believe how great the crowd was during all of this too. They weren't rude. They were just like back and forth. Jordan had her fans. Mickey had her fans. I just couldn't believe how much the crowd was in unison. And I mean, I figured there'd be some cheering, but there was standing room. There was people standing throughout that match.
The crowd was fantastic. We have to mention. Absolutely fantastic, loud, and
they were lights out for sure.
You can get into the whole production thing if you want, but like little that I know, I mean, if you got a crowd like that, like make that shit bright, or at least like at points. You know what I mean? Like show the entire crowd more. Like I know Larry, who is kind of our producer and helps us out. Like he said the same thing. Like he's kind of he's a casual fan. Like he hasn't watched much Impact probably in a long time, and like. He says, this was an amazing match. He loved this match. But if they had like the production of like, WWE or AEW, it would be like up another notch, especially with Mickey's entrance, which I thought was cool.
I don't know why up in the upper back of the venue, why not have a running LED or something to eye catch people, to kind of, it will reflect the people from the upper deck,
Yeah, that's like your whole thing on changing kind of things, right? Like on different shows. And
I just like to give it that little bit more of a pep, because I noticed as a huge fan of Impact, when I watch a show, the first set of tapings from after they're leaving a pay-per-view, I noticed there's some like lack of excitement, maybe like to get the crowd into it to start the show. I think if we could get that, even maybe change the theme song and kind of maybe incorporate it into the show, like actually, because isn't it like it just goes to commercial and then they just play. I don't think they really actually play the music for the theme for the people in attendance. I think they just see what's on. We just see what's on screen. Maybe they do. Maybe anyone that attends those would be able to tell us, but I don't think you physically get to hear that theme music. And
That's interesting. I have no idea about that. I did not attend an Impact show in a while, which kind of sucks. But sorry,
I feel like they pipe it in for us viewers who sat at home. In other words.
Sorry, I just want to jump back for a second because I didn't read this part when my Kaz thing, but I just want to say it could be huge in many ways, with one of the biggest being Anthem finally spending money. This comes after Rich Swann re-signed recently, who may not have been used well since Omega, but he was a former world champion, awesome talent, former WWE Cruiserweight champ with a name, and I have no idea what this Kaz stuff can lead to. I think it could lead to different people coming back, like Allie, for example, but not Allie because she's actually, I think, kind of in a tag team right now, but Matt Hardy, kind of like anyone like that, Brian Cage, like Santana.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think anything is not impossible now. Just because I didn't think we'd get Kaz on this particular night. Yeah, I mean, maybe an appearance, maybe, but I didn't think we'd get him in the kind of the context in which he landed.
Nobody. Also, just want to mention, all these sites out there with the so-called geniuses. How many of them saw this coming? How many people said Kazarian is going to leave AEW for Impact? Not one fucking person. Like, it's just nobody knows shit, and it annoys me. But okay, World Title.
Just that stuff too for the show for me that it really excited me. It was like we get a Raven appearance, we get Tara after I don't know how many Tara hasn't been on the show.
Always awesome seeing Tara.
I have to say, Mr. D'Angeli's done a good job of landing this talent. To try and kind of up the shows for the meet and greets and things too. So,
and like I said, the booking was really well. I think we both agree that the Mickey match was pretty perfect. I mean, even if you love Jordan, I mean, it was maybe her best match. So I mean, there's nothing came bad out of this for Jordan. Like, she'll be fine. Okay, Josh and Bully. Now I thought this was shocking that it was let off the show, and I'll be honest, I wasn't really into it in the beginning, but man, Josh just doesn't have matches that aren't great.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what kind of threw it all off right from the get-go was when Bully went into hiding and then he ran down the ramp. And I mean, it kind of set the pace for, like, you knew Bully would be meeting his maker by the end.
Yeah. That was, when they led the show off with that, I didn't think Bully had any chance at all. I thought the only way he would have a chance if it was the main event and there was some ridiculous bullshit, maybe not ridiculous, but something leading to another stable or something. So once it was announced,
I like the way they made Josh look like he is booked here too, because he took all the good hands and Bully to still muster up what they could, and they still couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, if you missed it, Josh was tied to the ropes. I mean, I'm sorry, Josh's wife won this match, didn't she?
Yeah. Did you see on Twitter or one of the social medias? She actually did take some tacks to her knee.
Yeah, I mean, she must have. I mean, just from probably being there.
Yeah, she had blood running down her leg.
I mean, Josh took a hell of a beating, man. He was on the ropes, just getting destroyed. Then his wife came down, and it looked like Bully was gonna do his thing and put her through something, or just power bomb her, and she ends up. I think a low blow and then hit him with what was that, top rope, whatever the hell you call it, bulldog or something?
Yeah, like the kind of almost like a bit of like a sliced bread almost, kind of like.
Yeah, nice move. And gotta give it to Vin. Bully sells the shit out of everything like that.
Well, what I can't believe in this feud going into this, I cannot believe that Impact has been okay with the chair shots between the two. I feel like these have been really almost too hard for this style of wrestling nowadays.
I'm pretty sure Bully is on his own contract where it's like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And if I might kill somebody. Listen, it is what it is. Because Bully just he says things that nobody else can say. He does things that nobody else can do. And that's one thing that I really like about him. And for all my complaints in the past, it all had to do with him being in the main event. He's a great character that can do a lot elsewhere.
Well, I guess he took to social media and he he put over the roster, and he said all the talent are very aggressive and they're doing what they should to put themselves on the map and to earn that high accolade contract for Impact. So he's been high on the roster. So
Yeah,
I will give him that credit.
And who knows? We don't know about like sales of FITE. I don't think anyone's ever gonna know that other than Meltzer's bullshit number that he throws out with no facts. But
there's a bad part to this, Jay.
Yeah.
It was later stated that by himself, Bully, that he's looking for revenge on John.
Oh no.
So we're probably gonna see more of Bully in 2023.
Well, I'm cool with that. But like, maybe he could like build up someone. That would be cool. You know what I mean? Like the next guy, like I can't handle Josh. You know, I'm too old. But if I could get this guy to do it.
Well,
Macklin, and I like how about Macklin, for example? Macklin's mouthpiece.
Yeah, and I do like what he said recently too, Bully. He goes, "I'm not here to pass a torch."
Yeah, that was kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't think you should. I mean, you can't. I don't like that. You know, passing a torch for the sake of passing a torch.
Yeah.
If you don't have a guy like Bully,
it could still go, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, and especially if you don't have a guy like Bully.
How great has he been, though? I mean, really, I mean, it's like it's made it.
No, he killed it. Yeah, he killed it. I mean, and he sold out. I don't say but they sold out the goddamn show with him in the main event. So like, even my complaints about him being, well, he wasn't in the main event, but you know what I mean, the world title match.
No, but I mean, going in it, he was headlining.
Yeah, you know? And I think everyone thought it was the main event because Mickey. And Jordan, or I'm not sure if they said it or somebody said it, like, you know, that the match is kind of different now because it's the main event. So,
well, when I saw that they were opening with that, I was like, oh, bad move. And then like,
yeah, I said the same thing. Yeah,
you know, but coming out of that pay-per-view, it was an A+ move.
Yeah, well, they did knock that one match out, which I'm not going to mention, but let's jump. Okay, sorry, wait. Yeah, so we both agree. I mean, I think everyone does. Josh wins, and I think most Impact fans are happy about that. So Trey Miguel defeats Black Taurus. 10-minute match. I mean, I thought this was pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was on the pre-show, right?
Yeah, this was on the pre-show. One thing I didn't like about the pre-show, but
which we did get around to watching by.
Yeah, I guess they kind of got screwed with that match that they had to cancel because there was 2 X Division matches, which I didn't really like, even though I don't know. Is it an X Division? Well, yeah, it is. The other one. So I don't know. What'd you think about the Trey and Taurus match?
I'm gonna admit I didn't like it quite as good as the original time they faced when we found out Trey was turning heel, I guess. I didn't like how they went to the same well again with the final result, either using the spray paint. I thought it could have been a little bit more creative.
Yep, I'm with you. Wasn't a big fan of that match. I mean, I like Trey, awesome wrestler, but I don't like the spray paint thing. Like, he doesn't need it, or I don't know. Give him something cooler than that. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, or like maybe like I don't know, like maybe even brought maybe somebody back from Trey's past, because I did hear that Zachary Wentz is available.
Yeah, I believe that is true. So yeah, we both feel the same about that match.
It wasn't horrible by any means.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, nothing was bad on the show. The first match.
It felt like it could have been. It could have been like we'll get to that in a minute. I just wanted to. It felt like this match with Trey and Black Taurus basically could have been on a typical Impact episode.
Damn it! I was just going to say a TV match. Son of a bitch.
And what was the next match you had coming up?
And I figured we stick with the pre-show. Kushida. This was actually more fun than I expected, and nice amount of time in like 7 minutes. Kushida defeats Angels, Delirious, Bailey, Jackson, and Yuya. Although Robles nailed it again. Kenny King took out Bailey during the match. He totally nailed that.
Yeah, that was I didn't. I mean, that does make a lot of sense because I mean, like, they did have the rivalry, but I didn't know if he'd do it during the match, and he did, and like I thought he might maybe do it backstage, and we wouldn't even see Bailey in it at all, and like Kenny might have took his spot.
Well, I liked it, and I absolutely loved his promo. Pretty sure I didn't mention this when we were just talking about it before we recorded, but absolutely incredible promo. One of the best I've seen on Impact.
Well, I think since he's come onto his own, like since he left All Night Express, I mean, he's kind of always been a singles competitor, but I do know he spent a lot of time with wrestler Rouge. That's an AEW, and I do think his rub off on him has gotten him to be a better character.
I thought I don't know. I thought he was a good character back then. I felt like, I don't know, maybe he
Yeah,
wasn't.
it's just like I think he's kind of honed it a little more. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely that's part of it. I think maybe he like wasn't signed though, because I don't think Impact was using him like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe I don't know. I wasn't paying as much attention. I just thought this promo was sick. But yeah, now I'm very interested in that. And so you got Bailey and King, which isn't even for the X title, going in the X division, which is very cool. Multiple X division feuds. Not easy to do. They don't do it a lot. So good job by them. And I mean, I like Kushida winning. Do you? I mean, obviously if he sticks
Yeah,
around.
it's definitely probably the best, fail safe one out of them all. But how good was Mike Jackson in this pre-show?
Oh yeah, that guy's he'll be doing that when he's like 95.
I mean, I can't even. His spirit reminds me of my late great grandmother, because she right up until she died about like near 90, she had a fighting spirit much like Mike Jackson. So
my only issue with Mike Jackson is I just like, if they're gonna use him, I wish they would like get into his story more, because like he's the most, like, he's lovable. Like, you just look at this old guy in the ring and you love him. So if like you get more into his backstory, I mean, Jesus, you can get like, he could be like a big baby face.
I don't know why they don't mention more about the back. Maybe we'll get a sit down with Tom Hannafan, and who knows?
Maybe because his history is too long.
or hell, maybe we'll get him out on commentary. I'd even like to see that.
Maybe it'll be like a 7-hour history show. That's the problem, since he's so old and he's been around so long. But
yeah, he's been.
Yeah, no disrespect, of course.
No.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I would have been happy with Delirious, also Angels winning, just because of the whole thing. But whatever, we're both happy with Kushida, especially if he sticks around. And let's jump over to another one I really liked, 4-way knockouts match. I think I was a little surprised that, not really. Masha defeated Deonna, Kelly, and Taylor. Did you think that was going to happen?
No, I actually didn't. I just thought kind of like Masha. I thought they'd continue to have Masha continue to lose. Not like maybe get pinned in this, but maybe be kind of like that Macklin booking where she doesn't figure into the win. Like she just doesn't get pinned, but she doesn't get a pin. Or she got a pin, but I mean, like, she doesn't get pinned in the ring, like, on, like, to make her look strong still. She just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time or whatever.
Yeah, Taylor Wilde got pinned here, so Kelly and Deonna kind of got saved, like you were saying, like you thought Masha would, which I kind of thought too, but I don't know. I thought they would go with Taylor Wilde or Kelly, but I guess they're not really in a position. But now you're gonna have what?
But I'm getting confused on who. I mean, I know Masha's the new number one contender, but I'm getting kind of confused on who they really want to be that true number.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because there's Mick. Like, I can't imagine Masha's gonna beat Mickey anytime soon, unless maybe it's the next pay-per-view and that's when she retires. But I don't know. I don't think that's gonna. You can't really have her retire like right after she had a career match.
And then you can't have her like lose right off.
Lose to Masha. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they got something planned now. Maybe it'll be like a long year-long feud or something. But yeah, I think we're both happy with that. Very good match. 4 awesome knockouts that hopefully all stick around. And especially hopefully we see more of Killer Kelly, who I'm pretty sure is on the show this week. I think she's facing Taylor Wilde, but I could be wrong. Okay, how about the tag match? The elimination tag match.
Oh yeah. I remember we called it going into it. I think it started off and I think it nearly ended like the way I thought we both thought it would end.
Well, I'll say hoped, because from everything I was watching, I felt like it was going to be more major players versus Motor City Machine Guns, and I was afraid the Bullet Club would like get some, I don't know, maybe like cheap loss or something, but no, total opposite. And I think Rhino got eliminated first, and Heath, and then whatever. Him, and then the major players got eliminated. They really weren't in there for that long, I don't think. I mean, I would have to, somebody can check, maybe I'm wrong, but it was Motor City Machine Guns versus the Bullet Club for like at least 5 solid minutes, and they just killed it.
Well, I'd have to say my wrestling gear of the night had to go to Heath, though, just because he wore down to the ring. He wore a Jason Voorhees mask and his outfit when he came into the ring. I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there should have been more of that on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, really, they should have played it. Well, Killer Kelly was Freddy Krueger.
Okay, well, yeah, that was another one. I guess, yeah. Well, I guess you couldn't have somebody doing it on every match. That might have been weird.
But yeah, it came down to the Machine Guns and the Bullet Club.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say we called it, but yeah, I mean, it was what we were hoping, and I think we both said like it would have been cool with Machine Guns or the Bullet Club because it seems like they're going to feud, which I mean, I can't imagine how they don't. So.
Well, I just kind of felt like going into that match when we saw Bay and Ace Austin. I sometimes mess up Austin Aries and Ace Austin.
Yeah.
Going into this match, they seemed like they were like happy to be back on American soil. I just thought that's the route they would go and put the straps on the Bullet Club members.
Yeah, I could have seen that, but I think they just. I also thought it would be maybe too soon because like not everyone pays attention to New Japan, and Impact didn't really go out of their way to like show stuff, or I don't know if they could show stuff.
Oh, the stuff from their New Japan appearance.
Yeah, like you know, you can talk about it, but that's one thing. Like.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a footage thing or something, or you know. Like
but I mean, like going head to head with the Machine Guns kind of puts
them
on like another level. So now they're like more respected, I think, and now they can be seen as a top tag team. But I know, I think most Impact fans already saw them as that just because they're so goddamn good. And yep, loved everything about that pretty much, other than it would have been cool with the Bullet Club. And now let's get to
that match went what is it? It went over 13 minutes, that match.
Yeah, good amount of time. And again, it was a lot of Machine Guns and Bullet Club. So check that out if you haven't. All right, Joe Hendry, Moose. This is also where Santino comes in, so we can talk about all three of that, all of this situation. Joe Hendry lost to Moose, who I believe cheated, which brought out Santino, who is the new authority figure. I forget what he called himself, but it's an authority figure.
Well, I totally love this stuff with Santino, but I felt like that whole thing with Santino, I think it took a decent amount of
time.
Love for that match for me. I thought it was probably one of the weaker matches of the night.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Wasn't a big fan of I don't know. I thought the Hendry Moose thing was kind of weird. Like I like Hendry as that champ. I think he's over and I think he's good. I don't know how to nicely say. I think Moose is too good for that title.
You know I mean? Yeah. I mean, because it's hard to. Because he's in Mr. Impact for so long, and then he was always in the title scene, and it's like, I'm not saying Joe Hendry's not a worthy champion. He is. He's a really good champion. But my problem is like, you really don't have a lot of people in this, kind of like in this division, and you really don't have a lot of scramble for it. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like two guys, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Too many titles. That one's kind of unnecessary, or I don't know, maybe not the right name, or make it like a TV title.
And I think when this was introduced, I think Impact's plan was to keep signing talent, and I don't know if there's an issue there, or
I think it was also like they would travel with the title.
Yeah,
the Indies are kind of
for the most part. That does play into it a lot. I know they'll like to have it defended on Wrestling Revolver, Sammy's promotion.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when most of these shows are like highlighted by Mike Bailey, and like they're gonna have they can't really throw like a digital media match. I don't know, whatever. No big deal. Hendry's a fun champ, I'll give him that, and he's over. So can't really complain too much about that. Other than they need some more, I guess, mid-card talent, kind of that should be in that picture, and not Moose, who should be. I'm not sure unless he's in the main event picture. So.
That one. I think that one ran a little long too for what it was.
Oh yeah. 14 minutes. Yeah, that should have been I'm not sure if that's counting the Santino talking, but Wikipedia says 14 minutes. So yeah, that was one of the longest matches of the night. Oddly, that was 5 minutes longer than the knockouts match that we just talked about. It was even longer than the tag match we just talked about. So
it was even longer than the Macklin and Rich Swann match, which was a Falls Count Anywhere. And to be given enough time going into that, you need, a good 20 minutes, I think.
To be fair, they had to stretch the matches probably, right? Because they dropped the one match. So then they moved another match to the pre-show, which means there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches instead of 8. So maybe they were like, all right, dude, you got to take the fall here. You got to fall on the blade and take 5 more minutes, Moose. So yeah, we didn't love that one, but they can all be gold. Macklin Swan. What'd you think about that one? Falls Count Anywhere. I did like how they had a nice little mix here. Falls Count Anywhere, Full Metal Mayhem.
Well, I like it because Macklin's kind of that old throwback kind of wrestler, like heavy kicks and throws his body into the end of the fellow opponent, and like Rich Swann's this high flyer. I think sometimes that kind of style can mesh really good here, and I don't see anything different in this match.
Totally agree. Kind of the big man versus small man, even though that's not really Macklin's not like huge, but kind of the way they wrestle.
Yeah, he's built a little bigger.
Yeah, like the opposing, like you just said, whatever. I can't think of the goddamn word. They wrestle differently, and they kind of have different styles that mesh nicely, I think. And this was a fun match.
Call it, what do they call it? Does they call it something? Texas can? Some maybe Blood Rain would know what it's called, but
yeah, let us know, Texans. So Macklin beats Swan. I'm cool with this. Like we said, Macklin needed the win, and Masha needed the win. You know what I mean? Like to kind of get them back on that track. But again, I mean, I love Rich Swann. He just signed. So, I don't know what they do with him other than maybe stick him in a tag team with someone, turn him heel.
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, I don't know why they can't. There's no reason why they can't find an opponent, like a partner like his size. I'm sure there's somebody out there. I mean, maybe even, what's that, what did they do? They signed a new talent not too long ago to a contract. The Jack Rice.
I
don't know, one of them, but why not, look into maybe exploring that avenue, just to kind of have him take him under his wing and then let him go, don't give him that rookie treatment where he takes the pen all the time.
Let me say this in a totally not racist way, and it's just because I happen to mention Moose in a similar way. How about Moose and Swan, since they're not really doing nothing?
Yeah, I could totally see that. You got
power and speed.
Yeah, and then Moose can mix it up with some high flying stuff too when he needs to.
If they want to. And to be fair, we complained about depth, and now we're complaining like they're not using these guys. Right?
Yeah. Well, I just don't. I think they're trying to look for the perfect mix for the different talent, and it's kind of hard. I don't think some of the divisions have the proper vision that they would ordinarily under a different regime with a little bit more money to play with. I think that's coming to, I think coming into this 2023, I think we have nothing but optimism for that. Maybe we'll start, seeing a lot of these new signees show up soon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if anyone listens, I've been listening to us normally. I've been pretty down lately on Impact, and I loved everything about this show. I love what's happening, I think, coming from this show. Not talking about spoilers or anything, but pretty much everything was great. Macklin, here got the win. Sorry we missed the Eddie Edwards beats John Gresham in a technical match.
Yeah, which was a really damn good match in its own right too. I would put it up there very easily with a Jordan and Mickey match.
Yeah, that was my second favorite match.
Mine too.
And I'm not usually a huge technical kind of guy. Or it was tied with the tag match, which I also loved.
Yeah, that was very good too.
I also liked the 4-way knockouts match. I mean, this was I would say the match, the matches weren't great, but they were all very good. This Eddie one might have been great. I'd probably say it was great. I mean, Eddie and Gresham, goddamn.
PW Mania recommended it.
They did all kinds of styles in this match, which I thought was really, really cool.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm used to seeing what Jonathan Gresham can do in there. I mean, it's crazy what he can do with a. I noticed ringside a few of the fans were grimacing from some of the things that Gresham was doing with Eddie's hands and stuff, bending it back and twisting his arm, and it's incredible. He truly is the octopus of the squared circle.
Yeah, one of the best probably in the world. Sucks he's not a little taller. I know people don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. He could be world champion if he was just 6 inches taller or some shit.
Well, they played that up on the recent episode of Impact when was that 6-man tag where I had Gresham and I can't remember who all the participants were, but at one point had Moose in the ring with Gresham and he was like standing over top of him looking down.
I mean, but that could also be a thing. Like, he's the guy to take down. I mean, he could be over as hell. I mean,
well, I mean, that's what he did in the pure division in ROH. I mean, he always defied the odds. I mean, he defeated such talent as Jay Lethal, and I mean, you wouldn't have thought he would have been able to beat Jay Lethal just for the size difference. And
was he world champion in Ring of Honor at some point?
Who's that?
Gresham, or like close to?
I believe he was. I that was kind of like at the end, like when
I think he might have finished. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then I know he had a pure title as well. So I can't remember if that was a world title and he had the pure or the world title and the pure title. I think he had both at one point.
Yeah. So then AEW didn't work out, and he came to Impact, and it hasn't been too long. So got to give him a break, let them show his character a little more. And I mean, I think, sorry, just quickly looking over things. Yep, we hit on everything. And shit, I thought I had a little news somewhere that we missed on. Oh, okay. How about Santino?
What about him, Jay?
Well, what do you think?
Oh, what do I think of him as a DOA?
I mean, we were hoping it was Bischoff, so were you let down when you saw Santino?
No, I think I called it because I remembered seeing that story about us trademarking the name Santino Marella. So I mean, it was kind of a given for me. I was kind of disappointed that I was right. You know what I mean? Just because I was hoping it might be a surprise, like something I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Damn it! I had a bit of news. I can't think what the hell it was. Well, ratings. Sorry.
Well, I just was going to say I had a little bit of news. Apparently, it was established that Raven was a part of the. I guess he is the producer for not only Hard to Kill, but also the set of tapings here at Center Stage. And it's not known if he's going to be going, going forward. He's going to be a full-time producer. So,
that's interesting.
Watch for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing it was Kazarian news. I mean, you guys can just check it out. Google Kazarian Impact Wrestling. It's literally all over the place. Also, I'm just looking.
I do think there's a really big thing of news that we do need to establish, though. The pay-per-view Rebellion in April is going to be in Toronto, with the venue yet to be named.
Oh, very good. Oh, so good thing you just mentioned Toronto. Anthem Sports CEO Leonard Asper spoke on Bloomberg about the WWE sale, which has nothing to do with Impact or anything, but we never hear from Len, so I thought that was interesting. He said, we're watching it closely. It's a hot area, and I'm glad we're in it, which kind of goes against what I recently said about other things, that they're kind of not really maybe paying attention or whatever, but, then he goes on to all kinds of blah, blah, blah. All Elite Wrestling came along and bought a bunch of wrestlers from WWE. There's a bit of a talent war going on. I think whoever buys WWE will take it to a next level, especially if they're a company like Amazon, Disney. They have a whole ecosystem. If a private equity guy wants to buy it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the hell he's saying. It's really businessy. But the point is, Len said something, so that was interesting. No, Gary?
Oh, no, it definitely is, because I wasn't expecting him to comment on it, which is kind of cool. I just would have thought, maybe would have stayed off social media to address it, just because we all know who's gonna likely buy WWE. It's probably gonna be somebody that's already in-house already, kind of like the is it NBC Universal that owns Peacock?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna likely see them or Disney possibly taking over WWE.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And I mean, I know it's kind of stupid, but I mean, I do think it's kind of news that Len is even talking about it. Sometimes we hear from Ed. I don't think we've gotten a word out of Len since he tweeted there's a distribution deal coming 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, every time he tweets, people are like, hey, what happened to that distribution deal?
Yeah, like the Access TV or the Facebook page is like really like it's not really like up to date either. Like they'll talk about something like our
I
mission and all this stuff, and it's like this was stuff that was done probably 15, 20 years ago. You know?
I'll be honest. I mentioned that to Ed about his site, not only Anthem's site, but Impact's site and Impact's Facebook. I'm sorry, the Anthem Facebook site. It hasn't been touched in like what years? It looks like
No,
you just said. Yeah,
definitely.
like you just said. But I mean, so if, I mean, in case anyone missed it, I messaged Ed Nordholm, the COO of Impact, second behind Glenn, who we just mentioned, about something. Whatever, you can go back to last week, check that out. But the point was, I did speak to him, so that was pretty crazy.
And has he gotten back to you or anything on media
Well,
or anything?
let's say I can't really get into certain things, but I've been sending him information, and today I sent an email about. Well, no, sorry. But the last time I sent him an email, it was about the like I was talking about with the Facebooks. Like I was like, no offense, dude, but like I didn't say dude, I talk like smarter. I'm like, no offense, but like you have to like you don't have a Facebook. I'm like, listen, like for Anthem, obviously, you're a big, whatever. Pretend I'm talking smart. No, Anthem's a big ass company. You probably don't need it or whatever.
Well, it's kind of ridiculous.
You do, but Impact needs that kind of thing. Like you have to update the Impact thing. There was nothing about. You can check it right now. There's nothing about Hard to Kill, where you can find the replay. Absolutely nothing.
The thing is, in the community part of the Facebook page for Impact Wrestling, like these like random people will put stuff. Oh, I'm watching Impact, and I'm like, how is that stuff allowed? Like,
there's nobody.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's
so
nobody
watching Impact. We all watch it.
There's like no humans commenting. It's insane, and I know how it works. It's a automated bot that posts those things. So there's not even a Facebook person. It would literally, all they gotta do is throw in like, you know what I mean, like two.
Yeah, but I don't get it. Like it'll have likes and shit, and I'm like, the stuff like when I put our podcast on there, that stuff we're showing our love for the product. We're putting it out there. We're coming out with new content. Like it's just like a broken record to see the same stuff. Like I watch it on Access every week at 8. And
I mean, I literally just replied to them today, like with the thing with a link to FITE TV. Like maybe you should post this today. You know what I mean? Like come on, like Jesus. But whatever,
you got to get the media caught up because that.
It's a big thing. That's money.
Yeah, it's a perspective. You got to get it out there.
I mean, listen, I guarantee you, everyone out there, at least 20 people would have bought Hard to Kill the replay if Facebook was posting about it this week. 20 people in the entire world. Is that fair?
No, that's totally fair. I mean, I've noticed that too, just because like I'll go on to different wrestling pages, and like you might find for every Impact article there'll be like 10 AEW articles.
Yeah, well, that's another thing we always talk about, and like I joked that WWE I thought was doing things just to stay in the news, but I think it might actually be a thing because every goddamn day there's a WWE story about, and they're in the news for doing. Like it could be just bullshit. It's like always Vince is doing this, Vince is doing that. Oh no, now he's not.
Well, that's kind of concerned me knowing WWE is for sale and you got Tony Khan that's a billionaire.
Oh yeah, Well, we can't have what do you call it? I was going to say conglomerate. Nope, monopoly. But
totally can't.
But yeah, I'd like to keep this under 45 minutes. So if you got anything else,
I'd like that. And what I got to say, I mean, if you want to further upon it later on, you can. It was also announced, I guess, I don't know if it's announced at the tapings this weekend, but in June, Impact is going to be returning to Center Stage, and those tickets are now on sale for what's being called the Summer Sizzler Tour.
Awesome job, Atlanta fans, if I haven't said it enough. Every goddamn time they go there, and I think we mentioned this like a year ago how they should go there because the Ring of Honor fans were always fucking loud and good, and it seems like they found them.
Well, my take is if this was basically back another 15 years ago, this would be my central location for like the new Impact Zone, like
well, why can't it be now?
Impact Zone.
Well, why can't it be now?
Yeah, I don't know why we can't, because nobody probably is gonna rent there anyway because it's too small for an AEW show.
Yeah.
WWE they're not gonna set up NXT in this thing because it wouldn't be probably physically possible.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, one more thing I have here. Just saw it. The 6-woman tag match originally set for Hard to Kill was a dark match before the taping started. Tasha, Savannah, and Giselle beat the Death Dolls. It may still get released online at some point. Also, Impact.
Is that really what happened to that? Is it got put on as a dark show?
Yeah, and so it did happen. And Tasha's team and Giselle's team got the win. So how about that?
Huh, I wonder why they decided to go dark.
Yeah, I do have some ideas, and you can check out our last podcast for that previous one. And also, I don't know, did you actually see this? Impact is expected to announce a Chicago return soon.
Yeah, I did see that. Somebody was saying it was going to be Bound for Glory, but someone had further looked into it, and apparently the venue's booked for the month of October. So, and that's usually when Bound for Glory. They were talking about going back to Cicero Stadium. I think that was the name being thrown out there, but then I guess it was like basically denounced that it wasn't a thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But they're definitely going back to Chicago, I believe.
And you mentioned Raven worked as a producer for Hard to Kill, and he has also worked for the tapings. It's unknown if he will have that job full time, according to PWI. Totally. And that's it. I think that's all we got.
No, I thought this was a great pay-per-view. If there's some eyes out there are kind of on the fence about Impact, I think that show or that pay-per-view should sell you on the future of Impact. At least if you want to be a fan.
I know casual fans who have seen this show and they loved it, and again, the only complaints were about like production, little things like that. You know, definitely not talent, not matches, not anything like that. So just tighten that up, and who knows what they can.
Hard to Kill has been awesome since back when Don Callis was there. It has been on fire since he first was there, and like it hasn't changed since. Like it's been one of their top pay-per-views for me.
I mean, they're pretty much always amazing with pay-per-views. I think the only one we didn't like was one that we didn't like their booking.
Oh yeah, that was like really one-sided.
It was just like a random fucking pay-per-view where it was looked like somebody got drunk and booked it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that movie you went into that was hyped and you were like all excited for it, and it didn't live. Kind of like you with the Black Phone.
Yeah. Or Halloween Ends.
Yeah, that too.
But that's about it for now, and we'll be back next week for the next episode of Impact, and everyone have a great, whatever the hell it is, weekend, whatever.
We'll be talking about all the hard to kill fallout coming out of these set of tapings next week.
Yeah, should be good stuff. Catch y'all later.
Have a good night.